March 19th, J. Bradley Thompson.
You're on a mission from God. Make every moment count. With life support machines doing their jobs, J. Thompson sat motionless in a wheelchair, and about 25 children mulled about the church sanctuary. His 4 daughters were there. The kids were about to rehearse the second and final children's musical Thompson had composed. It was a compilation of Old Testament stories. From the bottom of the steps leading to the stage, the producer shouted, "Places, everyone. Does everyone have their lines?" Thompson chuckled. The older kids struggled to herd the little ones to their respective places. This was Thompson's dream come true, though he had never imagined it would play out this way. But the hard part was over. The music had been composed, the lyrics had been written, the lines had been assigned. His only job now was to sit back in his Superman pajama pants that matched his playful spirit and watch his vision come to life. There had been a time when Thompson could sit down at a piano and play anything. But now he was at the end of his battle with ALS, a disease that eventually leaves people unable to speak, eat, move, or even breathe. When he composed his first children's musical 2 years before, he still had the use of the right side of his body, and he could still speak. "I want to show ALS patients that you can keep doing things," he'd said. "You don't have to sit around your house and wait to die." But for this second production, the process had become much harder, and he had needed more help, and no one was sure he would live long enough to finish it. With the glow of his computer screen on his face, Thompson laid in his bed. With determination, he scanned the on-screen keyboard in front of him. With the help of special software and a computer-mounted camera, his eyes selected the letter he wanted. His lips moved to grasp a special joystick to shift the cursor in his composition program. Using a clicker tucked into his hand by his wife, TJ, Thompson selected a note and placed it on the staff. Sometimes a single sentence took 10 minutes to write. But with the mission God had put on Thompson's heart and his insistence upon making every moment count, each exhausting stare and click eventually produced 33 pages of material telling God's story from the viewpoint of an innocent child. On a sweltering early August evening in 2009, Thompson sat in the audience, front row. A miniature version of Adam and Eve took the stage. From out of sight, the disembodied voice of God boomed. "What do you think of life, Adam?" God asked. "Well, it's quite hard and a little boring," Adam answered, "and well, a little lonely too." "Don't worry," God replied. "I've been working on a solution to all of these problems. I'm going to create a woman. She'll wash and cook for you whenever you want. In fact, she'll do everything you can imagine." "That sounds great, but how much will this woman cost me?" Adam inquired. God, with a price already in mind, replied, "I was thinking an arm and a leg." Frowning, Adam rolls the dice. "That sounds a bit steep," he says. "What can I get for a rib?" Laughter and applause filled the room. Thompson was delighted, knowing the Lord had used him to glorify God in his last days. A little more than a month later, Thompson finally met his Father in heaven and heard him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Psalm 146:2 says, "I will praise the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praises to my God while I have my being." Take a mental inventory of your day-to-day life. Have you been making good use of your time? You're on a mission from God. Make every moment count.
Well, good morning, fellow 365 Christian men. My name is Russell, and it is March 19th. And as you probably just heard the story of J. Thompson, which is an amazing story of a man who just really overcame all the odds of putting together and composing some beautiful music over his lifetime, but most importantly for his 4 daughters. And I know from experience, this machine is complicated, very complicated, even when we have all the extremities and the things that we need to try to put some beautiful music together. And as I went through this, I started thinking about how God plays into this story. And I was thinking, God has composed for us His own set of sheet music for us. He knows every page, every note. And we also know as men, there are going to be, there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows, there's going to be places in our composition, if you will, a time to rest, a time to accelerate, a time to crescendo, if you will. And I thought about this today, and maybe even more than a challenge for today, I was thinking, what if we just reflected, just for today? Let's just reflect on how God has composed us, plans on using us. He knows our highs and lows. He knows how the music starts. He knows how the music stops. And if we put that in the front of our mind and thank God for the things that He's done for us and the things that He has composed in our life to make this just an amazing journey, I think we'll all be good. So let's reflect on that today, just the great things that God has put in front of us, and just be very, very grateful for that. Have an awesome day. Talk soon.